Hello my dear friends. Today I decided to record this video because I have a really strong pain, a spiritual pain in my heart. And I would never start recording it if not the situation that happens again and again. And I see such a strong misunderstanding in minds of people that takes them away from spiritual life, make them very egoistic, make people suffer, and put them even deeper into their sufferings and into their problems. In spite of that, in front of them they have all the solutions to take, to use, and to live a happy life. Today I received a message from one of the heroes of the book, After Death, a mentor who's traveling around the world and sharing with people knowledge, giving help, and devoted all life to help people. You know, in fact, there's really few of people in the world who can possibly say that I refuse from having my own private property, my apartment or my house, or a constant job that would feed me or my family. There are few people who can say, I can make a sacrifice of my own private life, of building up a family just for my own, and devote my life to help people and to take care not just about my husband and my child, but having thousands of children all around the world and being a mother or a father for all these hundreds and thousands of people who really need help and who really sometimes lost and standing at the edge and don't know where to go and from whom to receive this help, support, this advice. You know, all the mentors, they are living for you. They devoted their lives to help you. Sometimes they had to stay in airports for 5 and 6 hours waiting for connection flights just to come to your city and to bring all that knowledge that they studied in retreat. When they're in retreat, they are doing purification rituals like starvations for 3, 5, 7, sometimes for 40 days of starvation, just to be a purest channels for you. And then in these states with prayers, with really strong prayers, they are creating by their own hands objects of power. What efforts they are doing to record all the practices and the music, and then to bring this all from far away Kazakhstan across all the world, half of the world. Sometimes the flight takes like not just 9 hours, sometimes it takes like 24 hours just to get to your city, and to bring all these objects of power, to bring all these CDs. I know how many years they were struggling to receive that wisdom, that knowledge, those practices that they perform in the workshops and seminars and retreats. And I know that when people come for individual sessions and consultations, maybe it would last 30 minutes or 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. But in this 1.5 hours, they put all their life experience, not only as a psychologist that you can receive like studying in the university. It's not only like life experience communicating with completely different people of different age and profession and nations and religious belief. It's all their spiritual experience that you cannot just receive in some workshop, or you cannot receive it from watching YouTube channels of some trainers. You have to go through a really tough transformation. You have to pass through like your personality have to die. Your personality have to be completely destroyed and then created anew. And it takes years by guidance over a live spiritual enlightened master. It takes really inner effort to overcome and selfishness, arrogance, egoism. And I know all of this because I see how trainers like self-givenness, how they like forget about themselves and doing really hard work to improve, to gain new knowledge. And there is only one motivation for them: to help people. Trainers and mentors and the heroes of the book, they don't earn for their private property. They don't have cars, they don't have bank accounts, they don't have houses, they don't have private properties, they don't bring this money putting into their pockets. And what hurts me really is when I meet such situation as today, when I received this message that was telling like, we did so much to these people in the city and we helped to this and that person, and then after we left, behind our backs, we just knew that people start to tell gossips about why the price for sessions is so high, why objects of power cost money, why we should pay for coaching, or why we should pay for retreat. Spirituality should be free, and these people are just commercials and they do everything for us just to give them money. And when I was reading this, I was like, my God, how poor in spirit those people who think like this, how poor in their mind, and what strong mind limitations these people have who think like this and who share this poor thinking with the others. You know, it's like, yes, spirituality is free, it doesn't belong to anyone, it belongs only for you, and it is something that you deserve through your efforts, through your experience. But even if we look in a like work of any coach, social coach or psychologist, there is a professionalism and the time that the professional puts in you to awake the spirituality inside of you. If you would be able to do it by yourself, if anyone would be able to do it by himself or herself, we wouldn't need any coaches, trainers, mentors, spiritual gurus. But they exist. They do exist, the shamans, the yogis. We need them because they help us to connect with that spirituality that is free. The other way is that you're gaining it through your life experience, making mistakes, receiving pain, receiving sufferings, going through tough times, and maybe by the end of your life have an understanding, wow, this thing that I should practice since I was 18, but you don't have time anymore, and you don't have energy, you're too old, you're too sick, and your life is almost finished. And the spiritual mentor is the one who works like an accelerator, who helps you to get into connection with your spirituality, avoiding all that sufferings that you could meet in your life. And the fact is that I know that nowadays there are lots of like false gurus and fake mentors and fake spiritual people. I met huge amount of them who were cheating people, just using them, women, for intimate relationships, and just taking money from them and making a brainwashing. I know. And the thing is, I think that the most harm that these fake gurus do is exactly not even that they are talking something wrong, and in fact is not in that they're taking your money or your time. They're their damage that they bring to spiritual world or to the world is that they make people lose belief, and everyone becomes afraid to meet one more fake guru, one more fake master who would just be after the money of the person. But then I was thinking that, you know, you have to be aware, and many of students, they're writing to me and asking, I want to invest my money in this or in that, can you help, and can you use your third eye and look through? And all the time I'm telling you, no, please don't do this, or you better do this, or this is the great idea, and people are improving. But every time I notice that if people are concentrating only on earning money, like, it's sooner or later it becomes a greediness for energy. If they don't give like 1/10 to their spiritual development, if they don't make this investment. But I won't say it's investment, I don't like this business language. I would say a sacrifice, because, you know, we live in this material world, and in fact the sacrifice that you give is not necessary for the one to whom you give, not for the guru, not for the mentor, even if it is a fake one. It is important for you. You give away something that was, you were attached to this, or maybe it was necessary for you, but you're like giving this, you're sacrificing this to your purification, to your experience that you receive through this. And I know that mentors who are the heroes of the book, they don't use any money for themselves. In fact, all that they have in their suitcase. And half of this suitcase is full of books or materials or objects of power, and that they use to help you. So I don't know, I feel so much sometimes shocked by this kind of a reaction, because if someone have a heart disease like leukemia or like cancer or like belt of celibacy, it means that you deserved this. It means that you did so many wrong decisions in your life, and ask to forgive me for being honest with you. Probably not so many people can be honest with you, but if you have a cancer, if you have this disease, leukemia or some Parkinson or other, it just, the universe is shouting for you that you did so many mistakes in your life, that you were not so good person towards the others, and this disease and this bad situation that you're in is the yell of universe to you, saying, hey, stop, you have to change something in your life, be awakened, stop being aggressive, stop being greedy, stop being irritated, stop being jealous, stop being all the other things that you've experienced in your life. And then this person who have this disease, a leukemia or cancer or AIDS, is really afraid. And the fear makes the person start think. And the person comes to a healer or to the mentor and say, please, I want to live. I want to change my life, help me. What does it mean? It means that the person comes and say, please, purify me from my bad karma, from everything that I did during my life, from all those mistakes that I did or I'm going to do. Because sometimes people receive diseases not because they've done something in the past, but about their weird thinking. Maybe they were not doing something wrong around, but inside, in their minds, they were hating someone, or in their heart they were like blaming someone, or they were going to do something wrong and destroy lives of other people. So the universe is putting the program of self-defense, because each one of us is a part of the universe. And if one part is going to destroy the other part, the universe direct this program of destruction to destroy the source of danger. And this is the disease, the heart disease. So imagine this kind of person comes and say, please heal me. And the healer say, yes, I can do this. Not with my own power. I can help you to get rid of that negative thinking that you have, that greediness, the jealousy, the judgment, the aggressivity, the self-pityness. I can help you to get rid of this. Or maybe it was a bad spell, or maybe it was a belt of celibacy that not only you, but whole generation of your family was creating. And the healer says, yes, I can help you, but you need to be an empty vessel. You know this story when the person comes and to the master and asks, please give me your teachings. And instead of this, the master takes a glass with sand or with mud and start to put water, the pure water inside, and said, what's happening? The person said, it's dirty. You're creating more mud. The master said, yes, you cannot drink from this glass. You have to wash it first. So when you come to the healer or to the mentor, the healer have to wash you first to take out your mud. And it is happening through your sacrifice. And your sacrifice is usually something that you have most strong attachment. We live in this social world. We live in society that everything is measured in money. And money is an energy. So you have to take this mud, that dirty energy that you give with your sacrifice, and to make yourself more empty to receive pure energy of universe that will heal you. And the task of the shaman, of the healer, is to help you in this, and this is all. Through a special ritual with mantras, maybe it is a shamanic ritual, maybe it is astral healing. All the healers have different, but it's their work. And by the way, I'm thinking, in fact, the giving, the sacrifice is more important not for the one who receives, but for the one who gives. This is the point. On the other hand, if we look like more in a social way, everyone knows that you want to go to the shop and buy bread. You know that you have to pay for it because it is something that you will feed your body with, and you know that someone was baking this bread, someone was bringing this to the shop, someone was growing up the wheat, someone was picking it up. It's all labor of people, their work. They do efforts so you would have this piece of bread toasted for your breakfast, and you pay for it money. But when we're talking about food, not for physical body but for your soul, there is so much misunderstanding. People don't see that to receive food for your soul, that are spiritual practices, that are healing sessions, that are those things that you receive in your retreats or individual sessions. It is also a long and huge line of work that different people do. It is the work of master who was training the mentor. It is the work of mentor. It is an effort for mentor to come across the world to bring you this. It is an activity and efforts of the organizer and many people who are taking part in helping you to find this little advertising in the newspaper that brought you, or the phone call that was done. It is all time of people. It is all efforts of people. It's a huge work, physical, psychological, even financial work, so you would be able to see the sign in the internet and say, let me check out, maybe this will help me. You know, just yesterday I had a wonderful experience with a couple. They're already over 70, and they were traveling all over the world. They were to Japan and to India, and they were traveling all around States and Latin America, following different gurus and masters, doing their life experience. But for the last 2 years they stopped because they didn't find any way out. And just because they saw in a newspaper this tiny advertisement that was saying glass walking will be performed and individual sessions are possible, both of them reading this article absolutely independently from one another were coming to one another and saying, let's do it, because both of them felt the energy even through this little tiny text in a newspaper, because it is a huge amount of work that was done to make this tiny sport being there, to be for them a signal that something can really help them. Did you ever thought about that? Sitting in front of your mentor, receiving the consultation? One family was hosting mentors in their house, and they become really friends because mentors brought them lots of understanding, peace and love to their family. Every day they were doing morning practices together and evening meditations, and this family received the consultation, lots of advices and practices, and everything started becoming improving in their life. And really lots of mentors, they are taking their own responsibility to give some sessions and teachings for you, but at the same time they cannot take responsibility for some really deep karmical situation, because if they do it just on their own will, without your sacrifice, without your effort, without your donation that you do, they would take this negative karma on themselves, and they won't be able to help other people. So they have some limits of free communication. And when it opened that one of the members of the family, the man who was 32 years old, he really needed the karmical healing because he had such deep problems with his job. He was fired, and he couldn't find the job again and again, though he was really talented person and very intelligent and really hardworking. And then he had problems with his girlfriend, and they fight a lot, and he couldn't manage these relationships, and he had started having problems with his liver. So all these things were up to him, and the reason was some karmical situation in his life. So he was recommended to go through the healing sessions, at least one session. And when he knew about that he have to make a donation, though he had a possibility to do this, but he was so suddenly aggressive, so suddenly explosive, telling that all this is false and he doesn't believe in spirituality, and everything that mentors do is a fake, and they are just after his money, you know. It was really hard to know about this conflict, and I know that his mother was suffering a lot because she knew that he needs help, but she couldn't even make a donation for him, not financially because she could, but energetically it was his effort to do, not hers. And she was praying a lot for him, and of course mentors forgive him and don't have any kind of offense, understanding that when people are acting like this, blaming the others on a financial level, it means that these people who are blaming, they have such a low level of energy in their solar plexus, our chakra of activity, of success. And the true spirituality is when we open and develop all our chakras, not just upper ones, you know. And they saw the poverty of his soul, of his mind, a real poor mind, because of the greediness. They were praying for him a lot, and they decided to move out. And 2 weeks later, he had a car crash. He stayed alive. Nothing happened to him. But his car was completely crashed. And when I received this situation, my email, I was reading it, and then I started meditating, and I found out that it was the lesson of universe that this person received. This person had to give away something. He wasn't supporting his girlfriend and they had fight. He was so greedy for himself, and that's why he couldn't find a job, because the divine existence saw that all the money that he would earn, he would spend on useless things, or even don't spend on his own development. I don't even say spiritual development. And so this was the lesson, and he received this chance to change, to improve, but he didn't use it. Don't be poor. Don't be poor in spirit. Don't be poor in your mind. And then you won't be poor in a social world too.